Hey there, everybody. Brodnax here with another episode of Stager Talk. And I have the fantastic Bobbie McGrath. I'm so excited to see you today. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great, Shell, and it's so good to see you. And I love you just have all of this vim and vigor. I'm so excited. I feel like 2023 is our year.
Vim and vigor. I'm into it.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I am super excited. COVID has been a thing,
Yep.
It's been a thing, and we're back at RESACON this year. We are full throttle RESACON, everybody. If you were on the fence about getting to an event, this is not the fence you want to be on. You want to jump off that fence and run to your computer. I mean, run, don't walk, resaconvention.com and get your ticket, because Bobbie is going to be talking about how to avoid typical pushback by using a step-by-step proven marketing message. Now, if anybody that's been in the industry for any time is going to know who Bobbie is. But for the new people that are coming in, Bobbie, you had a very successful staging business in North Carolina. I'm also in North Carolina.
Yes.
And at one point, you kind of had an epiphany between, do you really want to do the vacants? Do you really want to do the occupieds? And through that, you pivoted. This was before COVID, and we knew how to pivot.
Right.
You completely changed your business model. So you can bring everybody a little bit up to speed about what that was like.
You bet. First of all, I've been in business almost 10 years at the time, and I had purchased 5 acres of property with a house on it. I was going to convert the house into my offices and then build a warehouse on the property in order to go really both feet total dive in and get additional inventory in order to rent to my fellow stagers. At the time, I had 2 warehouses, and I had my delivery trucks, and I had a couple teams together, and I had that going, and I did that. I was ready to go in there, and I got bit by this little bug, and I became very sick. And it was during that whole time process, I thought, what am I doing? I finally had to talk to myself and thought, it was like it forced me to stop and think. And what I realized was I was getting more and more vacant stagers joining all the time. That was one of the reasons I was going to rent to them. And I was just like thinking, you know what? I love the occupied. And when I looked at my numbers, especially back in 2008 and 9, when things were really tough, when we had that bump in the market, what I realized was even during that time where people were afraid to invest in the vacant side, I was still making money hand over fist on the occupied side. And it was actually helping me keep my vacant running smoothly. So I was like thinking, what am I doing? So I decided I was going to work smarter and not harder. Well, it's not that it's not harder. It's different. I just decided I was going to cleanse the palate and focus in on something that at the time, people weren't really focusing in on the occupied side. It was something you did kind of because you had to.
Yeah.
And what I did was I just embraced it. I actually came to my first RESACON during that transition time. And it was there that I realized, wow, because sitting at a table, I was, everybody's saying, my name's so-and-so, my company's this, and we do such and such. And everybody's talking vacant, got around to me. And I was like, hi, I'm Bobbie from Raleigh, North Carolina. And I just was your choice. And they're like, what? And I said, and I just closed down my vacant division in order to focus in on the occupied side. And I thought they would go, you're not a real stager. But instead, I was amazed. They'd go, oh my gosh, we dream about that. Does it work? And I got to thinking about it, and I thought, you bet your sweet sippy it works. And when I focused in and really followed up on what it took to make that strong business and to get the response I did from the agents as well as the sellers, that's when my whole world changed. And that's when I was able to start booking anywhere from 15 to 21 consultations a week. So it was
you had that many. That's incredible.
Oh my gosh, that was for probably 5-6 years. It was just consistently. And then even with when COVID hit, it was really interesting. Again, we're all the art of pivot, right? And so I was able to okay, let's see, how can I tweak this and how can I make it work? But through it all, the occupied side has really, it's been a blessing. I love it. It's not for everybody. And that's what people need to understand. Occupied is not for everybody, just like vacant isn't for everybody.
Right.
And if you happen to be a larger company, the value of that is you can have a vacant division, people who work great in that. You can also have an occupied division with people who specialize in that, because they don't always, the abilities don't always cross over.
Facts.
But yeah. So anyway, so that's me. That's the whole occupied side of the world, and that's where I firmly live, and that's where I still live. And my company is still going strong, still to this day. I'm still going into people's homes and helping them develop their future. So I'm excited about that.
That's awesome. Now, along with doing occupieds,
Mhm,
here's the thing. When you do an occupied consultation,
mhm.
you a lot of people, stagers in the beginning, years ago, would say, well, I'm not going to tell them everything that they can do because I want to upsell them so I can get the job. And I had people that would come from me through coaching and they weren't connecting the dots about how unethical that is.
Yeah.
It's like, and you didn't get the upsell. Why is that? Because they paid for a service that they didn't get the value out of because you left
Yeah.
things of value out. But also that is meant to be DIY. And in that consult, it's like, give them the you can upsell, I can do it for you. But a lot of
Sure.
times I think particularly agents feel that they can DIY it themselves. And, when you're pitching even just to occupied for you to come in and do that. And I think that's, you have a good story about you walking into a situation and like light bulbs went off for you about the changing of a message. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, so there's lots of stories in that, but one of the things that I realized was when I was going in, I was talking pretty, and I was talking decorator, and I was talking all of these things. And I never did do what I call the Google consultation, which is what you were talking about. So going in and they sat down and went on Google, they could tell themselves, they could do exactly the information we were giving them. But what I had this epiphany as I went in is instead of talking about the pretty and designer, and this is nothing against interior designers at all, because I
Right.
refer to interior designers all the time, but interior design is that wonderful opinion that the interior designer brings to the table and helps a person create something special for them. As a home stager, our job is to come in and to be marketing specialists. And instead is to speak from a marketing perspective and to turn that house into a product. And stop using the word home when you're talking about it. It's a house.
House.
Once you decide to sell it. And so when I had an epiphany that there was a gentleman and he was like pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. And when I realized, when I started speaking marketing terms and everything, that really stopped. That stopped the response that he was giving to me. So since I have reframed what it is that I do, and when I come into the house, I have my agent speak about it from a different perspective. And when I go in there, it's the terminology. It's the terminology. And Jill, I know I've shared lots of stories with you through the years, so I don't know if I hit the story that you were talking
You did.
about, but give me okay, because
You
I was
did.
just going to say it's all about messaging, and that's really why I'm excited to speak at RESACON this year, because this is a topic that I kind of had an explosion at a meeting. It was a networking event. And I went in there, and here I am with my coaching and with my training and all these things I'm talking, speak marketing, speak marketing, speak marketing. And dadgum, if I didn't find myself in front of these people about to show them my pretty pictures. And I went, oh my God, I'm one of them. What
Just
is
did it
wrong
again.
with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then I thought, wait a minute, because I was thinking, oh, they're not stagers, they're not agents. And I thought, but they're my people who are going to go out and talk about what it is that I do. And so it was really interesting because the presentation I gave was not expected. But who baby? Guess how many, not just names of agents, but guess how many warm introductions where I'm specifically to say Shell Brodnax, not me, or Shell. But when I said this, Shell immediately thought of you, said I should contact you. Guess how many?
I don't know, 50.
It was 48 while I was there. And then someone was so like thinking about it that I received 3 more via email. So I got
Wow.
51 warm leads where they were actually calling these people saying, hey, Bobbie's going to be reaching out to you. Be watching for that.
That's awesome.
And I mean, it's like one of those things. It's like all of a sudden you just realize, oh, and it was so simple. It was so simple. And that's what really got to me. And that's how I've been building my business through the years is I just want to make things simple. I'm a solopreneur. And I know we've got a lot of solopreneurs within the industry. Either you started as a solopreneur with a dream to build bigger, great, or, you know, you've been doing these different things, you want to reposition yourself and go to the solopreneur model, I got to tell you what, I don't want a bunch of bells and whistles, because bells and whistles mean something's going to break and I'm going to drop the ball. It just puts me in that position. Instead, it's like I think of it like a luxury liner, right? A luxury liner is going has everything you need to get what you. But it takes time to get it right. And if you change your mind or something, it takes forever to turn around. However, the way my business is run, I'm a speedboat. What do you need? Okay, here you come. I come in, get you what you need. You get from point A to point B, and I'm gone. Okay, Miss Agent, what do you need? I'm in there. I give exactly what's needed, no more, no less, none of that friction, and then get out and I produce results. So what I've done is I'm looking at all the time, still to this day. And in fact, I've promised my students and my coaching clients, I'm going to still be doing this because I need to be in the trenches to understand what's happening out there. And we all know the world has changed so much. So I'm excited about this. I love teaching people. I love it when people have what you've heard me say this, right, Shell, about the I click moment.
Yeah.
Like when people are going, and then they go, oh, that. When that happens, that's when I know I've been an effective teacher. And I love nothing more than when someone reaches out to me and said, oh my God, I was so afraid about this, but this is what I did and it worked. I'm so happy. I love that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. This is a timely session. I was speaking with Ellen Mann this week.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And she had mentioned too that stagers got to change their language. It's not about the pretty, it's about the data. And
It's
women,
true.
even with women, when women say, well, you know, we're selling to women, most of the time it's the woman that's making the decisions and things like that. And so you talk about the pretty, and I'm like, that's a little insulting. It really is, because women, I don't know about you, woman, I like
Yeah.
money. You like
Yeah.
money? I
Yeah.
like profit. And when I
Yeah.
sell my home, I want to talk about the profit that I'm going to make. I'm about the dollars and cents. Tell me about the Benjamins instead of,
Yeah.
you know, because I don't care about the color and the light and the texture and all the other stuff. That's your tool to make it
Right.
happen. But let's
Okay.
talk about it's a strategy.
Exactly. This is one of the things, and kind of like boiling that all down, what I believe we've done in our industry is we have been focusing so much on the byproduct of what it is that we
Yeah.
do. The byproduct is that we create beauty. That's the byproduct. But what's the true product? The product is a home that sells for great dollars in the shortest amount of time. And I hate that phrase because it's overused, but at the
It's,
base, that's what it is.
it is. Yeah.
You know, so we create a successful sale. That's the product that we create. All the different body parts that we use, that's the byproduct.
Yeah.
So if I could get through to everyone, I'm so glad to hear that you're up on this soapbox with me too, Shell, because we've got to stop talking about it, because I see all the time the agents won't hire me, you know, or I call, they never call me back. And what I'm thinking to myself is, what are you leading with? What are you talking about? How are you talking about it? Hold it, hold it. Is that you? Is that how you do it? Or is this the way you think you're supposed to do it? Okay, so let's say I'm an agent and I have you come do 5 consults for me over the next 2 weeks. Is it going to be the same? Is it going to be a totally different experience every time? What are you? Who are you? And why are you? And I feel so bad when I see well, I work with coaching clients, right? And so one of the things I do is we really look at the story that they share about themselves, the bio. And I remember Fred Burns was at RESA a few years back, right? And as he
Yeah.
was talking about some stuff, I remember thinking to myself, ooh, ooh. So I went and I rewrote my bio. And so I started putting into my head, what is that? What was that? What resonated with me? And as I'm looking, even within my networking group, we all get, 5 minutes to go up and talk about your business, or how can we in the room help you, and all of that. And what I found was people were spending time on stuff that I don't care. It
Right.
doesn't matter. It doesn't help me sell you. It doesn't help me, what's in this for me. Now, in that networking is different because it's all about the other people. But when I'm looking at the bios and things, I'm thinking, that's nice to know these things about you. That's nice. But what about me? Why should I call you? What
Yeah.
is it about you? And if you're talking pretty and you're doing all those things, well, I'm like thinking to myself, I can't afford to do that. oh my gosh, look at these beautiful pictures. I call these the glamour girls, right? Where they're all, everything's perfect. They're beautiful. Yes, I have glamour girls on my website, but I also have what I call real life home staging. And you know what? There's a huge pool of people out there who cannot afford to do everything. But here's the beauty of our business. We can provide service at all levels.
All
If you
levels.
have people who have more time than money, I'm here for you. And hey, if you've got somebody who's got more money than time, I know we've got stagers out there for that. We have everything in between. But the question that each and every stager, each and every staging company needs to decide is, for God's sake, where am I? And as a solopreneur, I'm promising this: you're not going to be in business a year from now, because as a solopreneur, you can't do all this.
Yeah.
You just can't. Oh, excuse me, you can't do it well. And
Can't
I
do it well.
challenge anybody who says, "Oh, I can do it all," and yeah, I'm a solopreneur. I challenge you. I challenge you big time, because I tried there, been there, done that, ended up having to grow a team. And it was like it took over my whole life, because I kept trying to be what they said I should be. And it wasn't until I took a good close look and realized, what is it that I bring to the table and what is it that people really respond to and have reacted about? What is that? It was then that my business became truly my business and not a reflection of what I thought I was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's the cookie cutter,
Yeah.
and I just shot another show with Shauna Lynn Simon.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
know Shauna Lynn. And we were
Sure.
talking about all the different business models. There's so many different business models. And
Hmm.
just because you've seen, so many people doing it one way doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. Figure out
That's
what it
right.
is that you want and your little slice of the pie, and then do that really, really
Hmm.
well. And once you've got
Exactly.
that done really well, if you want to expand at that point, that's the perfect time. Once it's a well-oiled machine and you've got
Hmm.
shampoo, rinse, repeat down, that's the good time to be able to expand into something
Yes.
else, if that's what it is that you're wanting to do. But if it's not, and you want to, and here's another word, I want people to stop, to change their language. And when they think about this, when they say,
Okay.
oh, I just do occupieds.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, no,
Thank
you
you.
don't just do occupieds. You're an occupied staging specialist.
Yes.
You
Yes. Yes.
specialize in this. This is your jam. You are the PhD of occupieds, and make
Exactly.
it your calling card.
Yes. But here's the other caveat to that. If that's what you say you are, you better be that.
Yes.
Because because I do training. And one of the things I've seen is I've got people who are saying, I'm a this, I'm a this. Well, when they call me for coaching, whatever, and I talk to them, I start asking them questions. They don't know,
Right.
because they think it's the easiest way to go. It's not.
It's not.
It's different than.
Yeah.
And I've got some vacant stagers who I absolutely adore. And when they'll talk to me, they go, oh my God, I could just never do that because of this, and this. And I just created a quiz. It was like, is occupied staging right for you? And it's a bunch of questions. I was really thinking, what is it that really helps someone decide, is this for me or not? And, because you don't know unless you try. And then again, I see so many, I'm so excited about this, that we have some excellent trainers that RESA backed with their full staging education. And I think that is invaluable to anybody who's getting into the business. So you can get a broad idea of what's out there. Remember, we were talking about
Yep.
services? So we can have an understanding of that so that you can then decide, okay, what's a fit for me and where's for me? I think that's invaluable. But what I've discovered is so many times they do that and then they try to be all of it. And then
Yeah.
when I ask them, tell me, okay, so if you were to do a consultation, what would you do? And they can't tell me, or this is the reason. Okay, I'm going to give away one little bit here. This is the reason agents don't call you and they say, I can do it myself. Well, if you go in there and talk about how to make that house look pretty and pick your stuff up and do what I call the mother-in-law tidy, if that is all that you provide, of course they can do that. And some of them can do it better than us. Okay. How to clean up and how to turn the lights on and how to maybe take the curtains down. Because if that's all we're providing, of course, that's what the agent is saying, well, I can do that. So it's unless and until you can actually create something that when the agent is there, I always invite, I always crack up on Facebook when I see stagers say, oh, I don't want the agent there. Or I'm like thinking, I want the agent there because I want the agent to realize that the information I give is going to make their world so much better, but also it's going to be providing the things they didn't know they needed to know.
Yeah.
Because I see all the time, people want to be, oh, well, I'm the expert. You should listen to me because I'm the expert. For me, this is my definition. I know you've heard me say this before, Shell. An expert is someone who knows the things you didn't know you needed to know,
Yes.
right? So if you go in and you tell them everything that they could have told you, maybe you said it prettier, or maybe you said it in a nice organized fashion, but it's really, they already know that. Why do they need us? Why? So instead, you need to broaden your scope and determine, why is this the color that I should use? And here, that's the whole thing. Part of the talk I'll be giving is about, it's pushback. And it's like, pushback is fabulous because you know what? They haven't said no.
Right. And it
They're
gives you an
engaging you.
opportunity to continue to engage.
Exactly. And again, to let them see that you know the things they didn't know they needed to know. And one of the fascinating things is I have a series of talks that I'll get, like little stories as I'm going through a consultation. There's the light bulb talk. Okay. And so I'll go through and I'll go into a bathroom and there'll be a pink, a blue, and a yellow light bulb, and then one that's burnt out. And I go, oh, we got to have the light bulb talk. And so what I've done is I've created a whole series of those stories that takes just encapsulates everything so that they get it. And I remember one time I said, okay, so the light bulb talk. So there's different colors of light. I give them a quick talk and I said, this is what I recommend. I talk about it. Well, one time I had worked with a client. She gave me like 13 of her friends. Love her. She sent me all these people. So I'm consulting at one of her friends' house and I said, oh, we need to have the light bulb talk. And she goes, oh, Candy said you would say this. And I go, oh, so you already know what I'm going to say, right? And she goes, no. I want to hear you say it. And it was then that I realized, I do a lot of the neuromarketing research and the way the brain works and the way that you create memory. I mean, there's a bunch of things that I'm constantly looking for. How can I get that leg up for my clients? And so one of the things, oh my goodness, where was I going? Oh, I got to thinking about the class I'm building. Oh, Shell, I always have to do this at least one time in the
The
show.
light bulb moment. She wanted you to
Okay.
say the light bulb moment. Probably because you're going to do it better than the person that had shared it with her. And she wanted the full experience.
But the whole thing is this, is like, because of those light bulb moments and things, it's like, it's almost like a trademark. And
Yeah.
people like to know. So I didn't know it, but her friend had been talking about she goes, oh, and she has these great stories. And what it does is there's like the odor talk. And there's all these, and what to do with your pet talk, and it's all reduced down, and it takes the judgment away, especially the odor talk, when you explain the anatomy of an odor and how it happens and how it is that we smell things and how you get rid of that. When you do those things, it encapsulates it, and then people go, oh, I hadn't even thought about that. It's such a simple way. And when you can actually explain to them quickly why it is that this particular color light bulb is the best situation for them to have in their house, I mean, they go, oh, I hadn't even thought about that. And it's not that the information that we're going to provide necessarily is like earth shattering. Oh my God, I've never thought about that. No, so many times it's a series of little things. That's what gets people to place their confidence in you. And that is how you get a strong repeat business, is when agents can actually place their confidence in you, knowing that you're going to go in and provide the information in such a way that the client can hear it, and more importantly, will actually go forward and actually do those things. And also in such a way that it elevates the agent. This is where so many stagers are missing it.
Yes.
We talk about us all the time. We don't mention our agents.
Yeah.
So, I mean, oh my God, this is my year of talking agents. So I've got all kinds of different things I'm doing around that. And I'm really hoping, I'm so excited because I'm getting more and more stagers reaching out, asking questions. And I just did this agent marketing school about how to market straight to agents, right? And to actually get into their brains and figure it out. And you know me, I've got some great agents that I've worked with through the years, and they have been an open book. And I'm just looking at more and more people are going, wait a minute. Yeah, that makes sense. No wonder I can't get through to that agent. So this is the year of agent. At least that's what I did. I thought every year I come up with my year of fill in the blank. This year is the year of the agent. So I'm really excited about speaking at RESACON, because I'm hoping people will come and listen and come with an open mind. Because you know what? If you already knew how to do these things, you'd be doing them, right? It wouldn't be a problem. So, and that's another thing I love about the whole RESACON experience is there are times there are topics that come up and I go, I would never have even thought to ask that question. And
Right.
so it's great because then I go and I'm getting a whole world of information that in my own experience and education, I wouldn't have been opened up to. And so that's important. It's important to go out and to actively seek the things you do not know because you never know. It could potentially enhance something you're already doing, or it could open up a whole world of opportunity for you. So education is key. And I get so excited that we're at the Resort. I just got to say, it's a great place to be.
Just I will repeat again until I'm 80 years old. 2022 RESACON venue had no choice. Had no
Okay.
choice. Had zero
Okay.
choice.
Okay.
It wasn't that I walked away saying, "Oh, forget my boots on the ground." It's like at TI. We were at TI for 8 years. We were
Sure.
at TI for 8 years for a reason because they were my boots on the ground. They knew our program. They supported us. They were awesome people that I even kept in touch with through the year. So they were really
Nice.
team members. The M Resort has also become that as well. And
Perfect.
so they just didn't have the dates from before. So this year we're doing it. We had to change our date pattern a little bit. But if you have not been to the M Resort, please check it out online and go. I mean, get your ticket to RESACON. Bobbie's right. There are literally hundreds of nuggets that you're going to walk away with.
Yes.
The camaraderie, the networking, just the overall sense of unity that we all walk away with as solopreneurs and small business owners and larger business owners. Sometimes it's a little lonely and you can get so much out of social media. You can have those interactions, but there is nothing like meeting each other in person. And this is that time where once a year, everybody puts it together and comes out to RESACON to share and to learn and to grow. And it's absolutely incredible. And I don't know if anybody's noticed this yet, but RESACON, Bobbie, we usually only did 3 sessions at a time.
I saw that.
Did you notice? This year, we had so many amazing topics. I had to go to the M and say, can you give me more space?
Wow.
So we could add on a 4th session. And then with that, what we did is we added on, people were asking for a bundle to get the recordings. So we'll go ahead and record this year. And if somebody wants the recordings, because you can't go to 4 at one time, you can only go do the one of the 4 and you want to see the rest of them, we're going to be recording those. You're not going to see the speaker, but it's recorded like the National Association of Realtors does it, where you do the PowerPoint and then you hear the voiceover. And you can add those on for like $99. So it's a no-brainer. It really is a no-brainer.
There you go.
And I will say, with new people getting into the industry, when I asked someone who's new, are you coming to RESACON? If I can swing it, if I can do this, it's like, listen, I understand money limitations. I really do. But a wise woman once said to me, the world is full of money. Go find some.
There you go.
This is an investment in your business. And if you are not willing to invest in your business up front to be able to get the education that you need, you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball. It's not that, there is a commitment, and I get that. I'm not saying that you're not committed to your business. I don't want to upset anybody, but there's something to be said about going in and really committing hard, especially in the beginning years of your business. Because with RESACON, Bobbie, you've been in the industry over 15 years. I've been in the industry 21 years. Everybody learns. There are people that come to this event. There are members that have come to this event for all 15, 16 years we've been doing RESACON. And so they started out as a newer stager, or it was even a little bit of experience when we first started, and they still come because there's always something for everybody.
There you go. There you go. And there's something too that I've been looking at, as a coach, we also get coaching and we do things like that because we're always looking for ways. How can I improve? How can I improve? How can I improve? And one of the things that was discussing time and money. And I love the perspective that he brought up. He was saying, you can invest time into your business and spend the time to create the systems and to create the results that you want. Or what you can do is you can invest the money into doing that. And he says, I want you to look at and get it done sooner. So with time, it may take you 5 years to get that system into place. And you need to look at that and realize you will never get that time back. Or what you can do is invest money now, go out, and because of what you've learned, instead of taking 5 years to create it, maybe you're down to 2. And you have already, I mean, you can replace that money.
Yeah.
You can replace the money, but that time that you lost, and that's something I look at all the time with my my OCS class. I look and think, I ask myself, what would I wish I had known when I first started my business? And if I could go back and know that, I mean, I would gladly have paid somebody to learn that stuff so that it didn't take me almost 10 years to put it all together, right? And so it's like I'm always looking now as I'm looking at opportunities, I think, okay, oh my God, that's a chunk of change. And then I think, okay, but how much time is that going to save me? So I do my research to find out, okay, are there, street cred and what's happening with this particular training? What kind of results do they get? I listen to that and I balance it out. And what I realize is that now what I'm doing is I'm looking for more education opportunities, and I'm really vetting that and finding out what I can. And then when I invest, listen, if it costs money, I'm going to be paying more attention to it, and I'm going to follow up through with it. So, there's the time and there's the money. And I have to tell you, the opportunities as a result of being a part of RESA it's changed my whole world. I mean, there was a woman I met my very first RESACON out of Australia, Tracy McLeod. And
Tracy.
because of Tracy, she and I connected, and we've done podcasts. I've done training of stagers and agents in Australia now,
Yeah.
all online. I was supposed to go there 2020. I'm so disappointed that COVID took that away, but that's still going to happen. So you just never know who you're going to run into, who you're going to meet. And I will tell you that there's a core group of stagers I met that very first time where they were so open and said, oh yeah, sit with me and all this, because I went totally alone and I knew no one.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know me, or who do know me, I am a little shy, a little, when it's a new place. If there's 500 people there that you don't know, it's like, you got to kind of step back. People would like look and see me by myself. Hey, you want to sit over here? I mean, it's a great group of people. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I just wrote a note when you were talking, and it reminded me, when you're investing in your education in something, this is the difference of going to an Ivy League university versus the School of Hard Knocks.
Yes.
And this isn't an Ivy League cost associated to it. We're not charging you $250,000 for 4 semesters, at RESACON. You come to RESACON, you get everything. We're going to feed you at RESACON, and the M feeds people really well. Really well. Great food at the M. So you're going to get your breakfast covered. The lunches are covered. We have a networking night with apps and no host bar, and then the awards banquet as well. And that's a really nice dinner that we have, a very nice sit down dinner. So dress up and come. But why go through the School of Hard Knocks? Why would anybody take 3 to 5 years, even 12 months? Why would you take 10 months? On average, we find when people get into the industry, Bobbie, that they get in and they have no education at all. They get in the Facebook groups, they kind of mill around trying to piece it all together. And after 10 to 12 months, they're like, great information, but I can't jigsaw it together. There's no glue.
That's right.
You have to get the education. So then you go out and get yourself educated by one of the RESA accredited education providers, get that core training. But why would anybody want to do the School of Hard Knocks? When you do the School of Hard Knocks, I know life in general gives you hard knocks, and it creates foundations within you, but sometimes they're not always the healthiest foundations. So why not get the Ivy League education and get to RESACON and just get all the good stuff?
So I'm totally there. And I wrote for the one marketing book that we're in together, the 3 sides of confidence. And one of the things I talk about is, where does confidence come from? And so my theory is that it comes from education and it comes from experience. However, education with no experience is merely theory until you put feet to it, right?
Yes.
And then on the flip side, that experience, if your experience is only what it is that you've been able to experience, which is a very small part of the world. So you may have lots of experience, but it's still within your bubble. It isn't unless and until that you start looking for additional education that, again, who knows, a whole area could open up for you.
Yeah.
because I had never even thought I would ever do training or anything like that until that part of the world was opened up to me within the world of RESACON.
Yeah.
So, education experience, two really important things to consider. And, people all the time, I need more confidence. I need more confidence. And I'm like thinking, okay, then, there's different ways that you can go about that, but there's coaching. There's, you can read the books. I mean, I've read different books. I'll be happy to recommend some books. But there's like, where does confidence come from? And really, you look at it, and when you really boil it all down, education and experience combined together, and you understanding what your strengths are and how it is that you can bring things forward. And one of the things I'd love to just real quick say too is stop trying to be somebody else.
Yes.
Stop it. Because guess what? That person's always exists. There's nobody that's you. So look at your particular, what is it about you? I have people all the time say, oh, Bobbie, I want to be just like you. I said, no, you don't. You should be in between these. No,
Like you
what?
have no idea.
Yeah. And so what I think to myself is, oh my gosh, because I have always had this affinity for people. When I meet people, I'm fascinated to discover, what are their strengths? And to see, and so many times people are like blind to themselves. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because even my coaching clients, right? When I'm coaching with them, I'm thinking, I wish I could be like this, like them. I wish I could be like this, like them. And I really pay attention and think, how does that, how is that? And then to bring their attention to look how fabulous you are here. So rather than focusing all the time what you can't do well, let's shine up the part that you are awesome at, and let's figure out how to work that in so that it becomes a hallmark of your business. And then because when you're yourself, a lot of it becomes so much easier.
Absolutely. So I just took some notes again. First of all,
Okay.
when you said be yourself,
Mhm.
Mike Robbins, Mike
Yes.
Robbins? Mike Robbins
Uh-huh.
is an ex baseball player, got injured, turned motivational speaker, spoke at RESACON many years ago. He has a book called
Okay.
Be Yourself, Everyone Else is Taken.
Ah, there you go. Love the title.
Brilliant, brilliant
Yeah.
stuff. And, I use a lot of horse analogies with things. So I'm going to use one right now when it talks about confidence.
Mhm.
Frustration begins when knowledge ends.
Yes.
So if you are
Mhm.
in your business, no matter where you're at in your business, if you are brand new and just getting started and you're flustered and you don't know where to go, that's because you don't have the knowledge. So you're frustrated. Frustration begins when knowledge ends. That's a Clinton Anderson saying. The other thing about experience is, when I first started riding horses, I was petrified, and the story, I went on stage and I told everybody, I'm going to go win a buckle. I'm going to ride my horse. And I went out
Yeah.
and bought this horse after 60 days because that was the smartest thing on the planet to do. And so
Yeah.
I went out and then I had to come back the next year and tell everybody why I didn't win my buckle. And it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
that I just didn't win. It wasn't that I just didn't place. It was that I was last place 12
Oh,
times. Last place 12 times. You can't even get any worse than what I did my first year out. But here's the thing with the confidence. You have to have that confidence. The only time that you're going to gain the confidence was more time in the saddle.
that's
Plain and
right.
simple, plain and simple. And it's the same thing with staging. Even this weekend, I took my horse out and we had an amazing, amazing ride. And this is a horse that wants to jump over water puddles that are this big
Okay.
and launch over the top of them. He went through 5 water crossings. He got bugged up
Oh,
one time. We ended up in a tree, but my confidence was there because
yeah.
I knew I had the experience and I trusted my horse that I could get us out of the tree, which I did do. So
That's good. That's good.
you just have to have the confidence, but I wasn't frustrated because I had the knowledge. I knew exactly what to
There
do.
you go.
But when I first started riding, and any horse I would be on, if they didn't want to do something, they refused, they'd like back up, and they're backing up. And I'm like, oh my God, where am I going? We're going to run into something. I'm going to run into this.
Right.
And I would be in a panic because I was frustrated and panicking because I didn't have the knowledge. Now,
Right.
dude does something and I'm like, no problem,
There you
no
go.
problem, because I've got the
Yeah.
knowledge and the practical experience in doing it. So I agree
True.
with you. I think, when you get to RESACON and you learn about, you don't know what you don't know,
That's
and
right.
you get there and all those little nuggets can just completely change the scope of your entrepreneurship journey.
Well, I also want to point out that there are, let's see, I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 4, maybe 5 sessions that you don't have written down as sessions that everybody needs to make sure they attend.
Say that again?
There are about 5 sessions that you don't have listed on the itinerary. I was looking at it and I was thinking, oh, I hope people realize, because what I'm talking about is they're not written down as sessions, but those breakfast and lunch times
Oh, yes.
are invaluable. I mean,
And
I
move
am telling you.
around, move
Thank you.
around, go to different
Yes.
tables.
Yes, go and that first year that I went, again, because I knew no one, and actually, okay, I'm going to be honest. When I went, I thought, I'm going to see, are these, is this like a decent group, or is it a bunch of people sitting around gossiping about each other and, talking smack, because I don't want to be a part of that. So what I did was, when I went, I purposely sat at a different table each and every time because I wanted to get a flavor for it. And it was phenomenal at every table. And I look back now, and there were stagers that, because at that time I'd been in business like 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
And so when I look back, there were some, I loved it. It was the innocence of naivete, or the innocence of being brand spanking new. Some of the information that just popped out of their mouths was fabulous, because they weren't putting it through like a grid of, oh, well, I'm supposed to do it this way, so I'm not going to talk about the fact I do it this way. They would just say, well, we tried blah, blah, blah. And I'd be going, oh my God, it's genius.
It's authentic. It's authentic.
Exactly. And so there's like that. And then you have the veterans who are like fantastic, because you'll be sitting, 3 or 4 of you'll be talking, saying, I've been having this going on, this, and in between drinking their tea, they'll look at you and they'll go, well, this is what we did. We've tried these 2 different ways. They both worked. And you're going, oh, that saves us so much time. So those sessions, though they're unofficial,
True.
I really encourage, don't leave, go have lunch up in your room and stuff, stay down and move around, and don't be shy. Don't be shy. There's so many stagers who, we even had Fernanda from Brazil last year.
Yes,
She just showed up.
Yes.
All by herself, all the way from Brazil. So hello, if she can come all the way from Brazil, where English is a second language for her, and she's coming up to show up to learn, and she was very good about asking questions and moving around.
Yes.
So what a great example. She didn't let any of that stuff get in her way. She came anyway so that she could find out for herself.
Yep.
So I'm excited. Go ahead.
Sorry. And Masahiko Tanaka from Japan. He comes, he's come every year for probably 5 years now. And he comes from Japan, and people come from the Netherlands, and Tracy from Australia. They come from all over. So when you see somebody at RESACON, find that person that's by themselves, that looks a little lonely. Just walk up and say, want to hang out? I don't know. It's funny, when my mom, when I was a little kid, when I would have to switch schools a lot, they used to say, oh, just walk up to somebody and say, hi, my name's Michelle. Can you be my friend? I'm like, do you want me to get my ass whooped? I don't know about that. But in this day and age, that actually works, people. It really does. And talk to different people, and don't be afraid to come to a staff member or a volunteer. Our volunteers wear sashes at RESACON. And if you want to be introduced to somebody, let's say you might know somebody on social media and you'd like a personal introduction, come ask one of us. We'll be happy to introduce you. If you just need somebody to pal around with because you're new and you need an introduction to anybody, please let us know. We will introduce you to a friendly person that can take you under their wing. And one thing we can tell you is that, and I'm sure you'll agree, the vets in our industry are so there to give back. They really enjoy giving back, and they come from the camaraderie, because they're still learning at RESACON. But there's something to say about giving back to the industry that just warms the cockles of your cold, dead heart. So to do it.
Yeah, it's I'm actually looking really forward to it. I just actually booked my air flight yesterday. So I'm definitely showing up. So you better let me in.
We're letting you in, man. If you're on the fence about RESACON, get to RESACON, resaconvention.com. We have general pricing right now. We do have, it's member pricing and non-member pricing, but if you join RESA, you get the member pricing, and you're still saving 50 or 60 extra dollars on the entire package. So join, get involved, get to RESACON. We have discounts on hotel at the M Resort. You want to stay at the M because we're off strip. The reason we're off strip is because it takes less time to get to the airport to the M than it does from the airport to someplace downtown with all the traffic. 12 minutes, you're there. And there's no riffraff. So you can certainly Uber in to the Strip if you ever wanted to do that, but we have so many events going on in the evening that you're probably going to want to stay for the whole thing. So get to RESACON, check out the accommodations page, because we also have
Yes.
ground transportation discounts and we have flight discounts on United and Delta.
Perfect.
So check it all out, man. And Bobbie, thank you for being another guest. I love having you on the show. You are always such a wealth of knowledge. And again,
Thank you.
vet in our industry, an icon, and you give from your heart. And that really, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Shell. It's always a pleasure to see you, talk with you, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody at RESACON soon.
Absolutely. So until next time, everybody, happy staging and see you this July. Bye.